Welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe. Jared, Jordana from You Up Podcast.
Such a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited. You guys, you always make me laugh. You're a new fast friend.
You're such an easy person to talk to.
Oh, I feel the same about you.
So great.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And same with you.
We did it.
We just came off your guys' podcast, so you guys should check that one out too. But yeah, well, let's get into it.
Oh my God. I said I was going to drink last night. I had 6 martinis.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Off the Vine. I feel like I always like starting the podcast with just like genuine conversation like we were just having.
Yes.
So go on with your 6 martinis.
I mean, martinis get away from me.
I think I'd be dead if I had
6 martinis
I would
too
be
much.
dead if I
Well,
had 6
sometimes they come in a
martinis.
small glass.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come in like
That's
that
true.
little tiny martini.
That like what's that one bar? Tower Bar? Is that in
Tower bar.
Tower bar,
I don't know it.
You don't?
No.
Oh, it's a cute little New York spot that I
Cute
love,
little-
and I
oh.
feel like they
Not
have.
to be mobbed.
It's really
Yeah.
it's very tiny in there, but they have the best martinis and little truffle popcorn that they bring to you at the bar.
Oh, I know where you went.
What's our
look
martini
this up.
orders?
Yeah, what are you ordering
How
for
do
a
you order
martini?
martini?
Oh, so I had a martini last night. I love going to restaurants by myself and having a martini and reading a book. So that's what I did.
You and
That's
I
like
are
the
literally,
dream
we are
of-
the same person.
Do you like doing that?
Without book.
Oh, well, I do.
That's like
Sounds
a
book.
quintessential New York.
It's funny
Right.
because I say I like book, but then the book is up for like 2 seconds, but really I'm just scrolling the whole
You're
time.
probably-
Yeah,
Anyways,
okay,
but
so we are the same person.
I like a dirty gin martini.
Okay.
Whoa.
Hendrix.
Gin girl.
Yeah, I love gin.
So here's my opinion on a gin martini,
Oh, no.
and this is I
Regular dirty or extra dirty?
Regular
Regular
dirty.
dirty.
So
Actually, baby dirty.
baby
Blue
dirty.
cheese olives?
Yeah, no, regular
Regular
olives.
olives.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a great gin martini, a gin martini has to be made great,
Yes.
or it's horrible.
I totally agree.
A vodka martini can be made okay, and it's still good. That's
I can't
my
drink
that's
vodka. I get so
Really?
angry. Yeah.
angry.
Angry. I am mean,
Really?
mean on vodka.
So gin is your alcohol of choice or just for martinis?
Just for martinis.
Okay.
I love a tequila soda, but wine is always my go-to.
Right.
I'm thankful that I'm a happy drunk.
Yeah.
I'm like a lovey
Never
drunk.
get mad?
I don't think so.
You know, I thought I wasn't a happy drunk until I got into a relationship.
Yeah. I get
then
a little
I
angry
discovered-
drunk in relationships.
Yeah.
Like the little things come out.
But then
Yeah.
they get like things you like haven't like put out there. If you get drunk and then they come out, they always come out horribly in that
Right.
way. But
You're
it's funny.
right.
I always thought, because I was single for so long, I was like, I'm a great I just fall asleep. Like, I'm great. And then I got into a relationship and I'm like a monster. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a happy drunk. Weird.
That's I got drunk in front of a sober person recently, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And he was like, "Oh my God, you're a great drunk." He's like,
Yeah.
He was
That's
like,
a great compliment.
Yeah.
Great comment.
He
That's a
was
great
like-
sober person too.
Great sober
Yeah,
person.
yeah. You want
Yes.
sober people to be like. I remember in college we had a friend of ours that stopped drinking, and he was awesome because
Yeah.
you'd walk into his room the next morning, he'd be like, "You were great.
Yeah.
You did this. You did that." He would like give you the whole background
Rundown,
on your
yeah.
night, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Thanks."
Probably stole your wallet.
Listen, I would have paid him. I would pay someone to follow me around at night and then just be by my side the next day and go, "Here's what happened. Here's what you did. Here's how awesome you were. I would pull this a little bit back." You know, like to give me the review.
Like a real honest
Review.
person.
Right.
Like
yes.
pull up a PowerPoint presentation
Right.
and like give me the rundown on how I could improve because
If
it's
I-
not stopping.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can I improve
Right,
after
exactly.
6 martinis?
Just an inch. You
Yeah.
know, like maybe
as
that
long
would
as I'm
be.
not going backwards.
It's funny to think that like if I got rich enough for an assistant, they'd be like, "What was it like working with Jared Freid?" Weirdly, PowerPoints about how drunk he
was,
got the
yes.
night before. That was all I did.
You do get paranoid. I feel like when we were
do.
in Cannes together, he would text every morning, "Is anyone mad at me? What did I? How are we?"
That's I need to be more like that. I'm just like
yeah.
I was probably awesome last night. I'm like moving on, and they're like, actually, no. That's 6 martinis would I can only have one.
Two
If I have
max.
2,
They
I
say
am
two-
lit.
Two
Two
is
is
the
over.
number.
Yeah.
I mean, I went and had an alone.
Where'd you go?
So I went to Bangkok Supper Club,
Okay.
which is a restaurant that it had been on my radar. You've been there, Jordana, no?
No.
No, I thought you went there. The food is very good, but it's a little small.
Okay.
I had more than I ordered more than I thought was going to be too much, and it ended up being fine enough. but delicious food.
Okay.
Great bar.
Okay.
And they made this martini, and it came in a little tiny cup.
Okay, so you had 6 tiny
Okay.
martinis.
Well, I think I had 3 there, and then I moved on, and then that's where the night. That's where the night should end.
Yeah.
And I am classic one more spot. And it's
Right.
never
Same.
right.
I am always the
nightcapper?
nightcap girl. I always want one more, and the next day I'm always the girl that goes, God, I should have just stopped at
Right.
that. And I don't learn.
Well,
No.
it's because when you're in it, you're like, if you're already drinking, you're kind of like, well, I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
Why
let's
not?
Let's keep it
And
going.
I love
Yeah.
a social beverage, like
Right.
or a solo beverage. I have a video. This should be my confession. I have a video of myself wasted, listening to Taylor Swift in my backyard, smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke.
Where'd you get a cigarette then?
I don't. Somebody had left it at one of my house gatherings.
Found it on the floor.
It was a
stub.
yeah. It was in my backyard. It was there's half left. It was a menthol.
Oh, wow.
and
Good for you.
and I am
Yeah.
decided to record myself,
Yes.
and I'm just smoking, singing Taylor Swift by myself.
Amazing.
And in the moment, I thought, this is what life is all about.
This is what it's all
This
about.
is- I have peaked, and then the next
My
day I'm
own
like,
backyard. Yeah, no, I know that feeling of like a few drinks in, you kind of like smell the world. You go,
Good music.
take a good music, take
I've
a
done
deep
that.
breath.
I've done that before.
I love
Yeah.
it. I can't wait
Yeah.
to do it tonight.
Where are you gonna go tonight? You're in New York City. I love
Okay.
I love
Are you
hearing
in a
people's
smoking
New
room?
York. I'm going to the cigar bar.
I'm doing so I can only drink black coffee right now because I'm going to do the Prenuvo body
Prenuvo.
scan.
What's that?
Oh, I've heard of that. I really want to do that. It's like
I'm-
they MRI. They do like an MRI for your whole body.
Yes,
basically,
and
or
you get to
something?
watch Netflix, and they gave me a little 0.5 lorazepam to
What is
take.
it? But what's
That
the
sounds
scan
awesome.
to do?
It basically tells you like if you have
Everything.
cancer.
Oh, okay.
Literally,
Fun.
it tells you everything, like brain, heart, liver.
Oh,
I'm
I
a little
think I heard
nervous
about it. It's
Yeah.
expensive to do. The
They give it
Kardashians
to
are
like
known.
the
Yes.
influencers or the
Yes.
celebrities.
Okay, so you're doing this
Yeah.
for what?
Got to make sure I'm doing.
Oh, just
okay.
to do it. Okay.
Honestly, I'm curious about my liver and how it's doing.
Well, that's the problem. If it tells you the liver is good, you're going to go to another level of drinking. You're
Yeah.
going to be on 3
That's
martinis.
why I
Right.
want one.
Right,
Just
just to know.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to where to go? Oh, Cook Shop.
You should try to smoke a cigarette in the machine. In the Prenuvo machine.
Oh yeah.
Take that.
Yeah. I mean,
What's happening into my lungs?
might as well.
So we just did your podcast called You Up podcast, right?
Yes. That's right.
You guys
That's
are both
right.
kind of looking at me
Yeah.
like, I was like, did
That's
I-
right.
did I-
Yeah.
did I-
Killed it. Yeah.
Where we give dating advice.
Yes.
Are you both single?
No, I'm married.
Oh, you're married.
Yes.
For how long?
Like 2.5 years.
Oh, so that's a nice combo then.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason, I didn't look at your finger.
That's okay.
Oh, I was wondering because you had said something on the other podcast and I couldn't tell if you were single or not. But okay, that makes sense. You guys give dating advice.
Yes.
And it's so interesting to me because one of my videos that we clipped from my last podcast, people loved your dating advice.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking dating now for 7 years almost.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I think it's hard. You know, the dating advice that I said on your show was take the word if you're confused about something, take
You're
the word
turned off.
say you're turned off, and
Yes.
it'll answer your question. And
Yeah.
I think that comes from like the years of, you know, Jordana and I talking about and hearing the issues of our listeners and being like, just seeing things that come up all the time. And the one thing we always hear is, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the
Yeah.
minute you break
Why
that
is
down,
he doing this?
Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
What is going on? And I'm on the other side of it, and I'm most of the time where I'm the guy, and I'm representing, you know, the dude you're dealing with. And I'm like, well, I very often have had women. Why is this? Instead of like, hey, I'm upset that you're doing this in this way. And
Right.
rarely are these women wrong.
Right.
You know?
Well, we don't want to scare men away, I think. So then it's always like, I'm wondering why you're doing this instead of, like you said, I'm turned off.
Has it helped you in your marriage to have a podcast about dating advice?
Yes and no. I think. I think it definitely has helped me doing this podcast with Jared, hearing the male perspective from
Yeah.
someone who's not in it with me. Because I mean, someone could tell you the male perspective, but if you're currently fighting with them,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's totally unbiased.
Right.
Whereas I think the stuff I've
true.
learned about you from the way that many, not all men, but many men, most men, depending on who you ask, think I think has been helpful just to like make things less personal, because so few things are as personal as we make them, and that I think is what makes dating feel so intense and feel so like depressing sometimes, is it all feels so personal when usually it's not.
Yeah.
Like I got a message last night actually from a woman, and she showed me these screenshots. She's like 5 dates and we haven't been physical yet, and he sent me this text, and it was him breaking up with her.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel like all of this is an excuse for like why he won't date me, and I, or he just doesn't like me. And I was like, that's such like a funny thing from my end, because I'm like, I would never tell a woman that I've dated that I don't like her.
Right.
It's just never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna like be, and you know.
Do you not like some people that you've dated though?
Not, as a person,
Yeah,
no.
I don't know.
Like
Right. So it's never that,
It's
right?
never that. But also, even if I didn't like them as a person, which would be weird, I think, to
Right.
date someone then.
For long enough for them to be upset, you wouldn't date.
Right. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be in it that long to have to send a breakup. But like, and I said and the person's like, why don't they just say I don't like you? I'm like, well, you want less than humanity.
Right.
Like, you have to remember, like, none of these men are smarter than you. None of these men are. They're just trying to feel like good people and move on with their day in the same way you are.
Right.
But a lot of people want, and the way dating is kind of composed, a lot of women want guys to like worship them or chop up their heads. And
Yeah.
and it's like you're asking for them to take responsibility for your feelings a lot of times. And like, I'm trying to give the voice of like reasonability for an unreasonable thing. It's
Yeah.
unreasonable to dump someone you like.
Right.
Why don't you just stay with me? I'm me. You like me.
Right.
Right.
You know, but
Because women don't really do that. I feel
No.
like we don't really date people that we like but don't want to date.
So true.
Right?
That's so true. Because men also think if you are like a sexually active man, you're like, oh, well, it's sex. I can keep getting it, and I can. And the women,
Right.
I feel like, need more of an emotional attachment,
right.
and so that causes confusion.
Well,
Totally.
and it's also like, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but
You're not?
like the things guys like are on the outside.
Right.
You know, like you see everything, it's all in front of you. A lot of women, you got to like unwrap it and
It's
see what's going on downstairs.
layers.
Yeah. So like,
Onions.
see if it's trustworthy, see if it's big enough. You know, like this is all, you know, it's a little bit, you know, if you get into like the woo woo of it all. But yeah, I love talking about dating in a way, and I think like it's powerful that it's coming from Betches, that where we're taping this now, and like Jordana allows me to like to, you know, a lot of people could just look at me and be like, "You disgusting animal, shut the fuck up."
No. Nobody
No.
thinks that.
Well, but
I
you've
know, I
always
don't-
given
right.
me the ability to like,
Yeah.
you know, like let's have dating is an uncomfortable conversation.
It really is.
Relationships is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
How do we have an uncomfortable conversation in a comfortable way?
Right.
Especially because it gives somebody permission to ask questions that they can't go ask their partner on the third date.
No,
Right. I think that's the
absolute-
best
right.
part about listening to the show, single or with a partner, is you get to kind of
Yeah.
listen and say, is this a deal? Would this be a deal breaker for you? It kind of like opens the door to conversations. You
Yeah, it
wouldn't have
validates
otherwise.
people and allows them to be able to ask questions and get a different perspective. It's like a safe place for them.
Exactly. We don't really give rules, like you were saying,
Yeah.
because
Right.
like everything is about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And I think that that's like, that doesn't get as many sound bites.
Yeah.
But that's actually like the way most things work in a healthy way.
That's true.
Right. You see date, and it's funny because like you talk about the clip that like did well and people respond to. It's so weird to hear people be refreshed by that, because you're like, this is diet and exercise. Like, I'm not saying anything that's like crazy.
Right.
But like we see dating stuff out there that is like horrific, and it's like screaming at you, and it's like, you know, the reason, you know, podcasts have gotten very popular because people want to do other things. You know, we
Yeah.
have a podcast, it's a podcast, it's a
Yeah.
show. So it's like, it's just interesting to me. That's like, see, you gotta do, you know, if he wanted to, he would. You know, it's like all this, like, and it's all very like, it's all very judgy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think dating talk can be judgy. I think we have to
That's
all
true.
say, like, I've done this.
Yeah.
That's credibility. I've done the guy doesn't text you back. I've done
Right.
the breakup for no good reason.
Yeah.
I know that guy. I am that guy, you know?
Right. How did you meet your husband in New York? Because I feel like that's like an extreme sport dating here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from like Long Island.
Okay.
And so we were set up by mutual friends,
Okay.
which I think is like a nice
Yeah, that's
way in
nice.
New York, especially because like I feel like there's so many people that
Right.
people feel a little disposable.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm
just
out
think-
there.
Yeah.
I'm just
Have you been on any dates
I've been on dates.
recently?
Yeah.
What's
I
give
went
me
on-
a high and a low.
High and
Peak
a
and a
low. Peak and a pit. Yeah,
Peak
yeah.
and a pit.
No, this is something that a lot of men get accused of, but I told you this the other day. Like, I'm getting a lot of like no questions.
Oh.
Like, no, hey, I don't know. It
What
just.
do you mean? The date is not asking you questions?
Right, I'm asking. I feel like I'm interviewing them a little bit. Like I feel like they're on
They're
my
not giving you anything
podcast.
back?
Not like it's just like
Maybe you're just getting. I think that's code for like I'm getting a lot of people with bad personalities.
I don't think so.
A lot of people with bad personalities.
Or fans that already know everything about you.
Maybe
But let's
that's.
pretend. I
Yeah.
mean, we've all
Yeah.
Googled people.
Yeah, but you
Right.
don't like when people pretend. if
I would
they-
rather them be like, here's what I know, here's what I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Like, and it can be said in a way that's not like mean. Like I don't like if someone was like, I have never listened to anything. I've had people I go on dates that go, I gotta like let you know,
Yeah.
I haven't listened to a thing you've done.
Yeah.
You're like, you have bad taste.
Right. Who are you listening to? Like get real defensive. I haven't listened to it. And then when we made, and they'll say that when we made the date, I kind of stayed away from it because I wanted to meet you. And I'm like, that to me makes sense.
Yeah.
But then I would expect, well, then you got to also ask
Right.
what's going on in your life.
Right.
I don't know. That's been a little bit just recently. The peak has been, all the
All the sex. I don't know.
all the
All the dicks. sucking.
balls and mouths. That's the peak.
Thank you for your honesty.
Sexually explorative women. That's what I got.
Do you find it hard to date in New York compared to other why do people think New York is so hard to date and find people?
Well, I think every city thinks they're the worst to date in. from what I've
Nashville?
heard. No, you guys think it's great there?
Is that the Garden of
Do you think it's
Eden?
great there?
I've never actually I did go on one date there.
What was that like?
It,
Where'd they take you? Kid Rocks?
yeah.
What's the street that everyone?
Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Actually we did go there.
Come on.
It was kind of like a group situation. Though.
Okay.
But I do feel like people find people quick in Nashville and settle down.
Right.
So I don't know if that's like a good
Well,
dating city, but-
what Jordana says is so correct because we go to I think Nashville. Here's your issue in Nashville. A lot of people coming in for a weekend.
Yeah.
And dudes are coming in being like, I'm here for the weekend. What are you
Bachelor
doing?
party.
Right.
A lot of distraction in that
Yeah.
way. Two, everyone kind of knows each other if you live there. You
That's
start
true.
you start sharing a social scene that's a little
Yeah.
bit smaller, even though you're in a big town.
Yeah.
So that's not helpful.
Yeah.
So we went to where did we go? San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the odds are good, but the goods are odd. They're like there's a lot of men, but they're a little bit weird.
Oh,
'Cause they're like tech guys.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But I think New York. The hard part is a lot.
Yeah.
More of everything.
So many
Yeah.
options.
So many options, more, and people move to New York to hustle.
Yeah.
People move here for something else they love, not just
To meet people.
to meet someone and move to the suburbs near New York. They are
Right.
here with a dream. So if you meet someone doing a thing like and that could be finance.
Yeah.
As boring as that sounds to some people, no, I'm here to get f***ing rich.
Yeah.
You don't move to New York to be just whatever.
Well-
so I think a lot of people find that busy is really a thing here.
Yeah.
And there's just so many people here. So I
Right.
think there's a sense of I probably maybe more in Nashville where you're kind of if I meet someone great, there's not an endless amount of people here.
Right.
So let me lock them down if I like them. Whereas in New York,
That's
it's
true.
this person's great, but there's
But
the
what
next
else is
person
out there?
could be
greater.
even better.
Yeah.
Right. And you can actually search by if you go on this is dating app specific, but you can search by I want Jewish woman 27 to 40. And you never run out.
Million of them.
There's you're I can't believe there's this many.
Is that what your search engine looks like?
Yeah, maybe.
And again,
yeah.
which I think is great in some ways. It's every city
That is
thinks
kind of nice.
every city thinks they're the worst, but really it's just a different mix of pros and cons.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. If I search Jewish woman 27 to 40 in
Nashville,
Nashville,
you get,
be
3.
one woman named Rhonda.
Right. Yeah, so I'm saying you get 3, so that's
Yeah.
a drawback of there. And maybe
Right.
people in Nashville are are settling down, but they're maybe they they could have found someone better for them if they were in a
Right.
bigger city. So I think it's more of just a trade-off.
All right, you guys know how some days it's just hard to stay focused, stay positive. Well, lately I've added something new into my routine that's totally changed the game for me, and that is Feel Free Classic Tonic from Botanic Tonics. So I'm always juggling just like a million different things and sometimes feel like a scatterbrain, but this helps me stay focused and actually be in a better mood. So I take it before a really long work day. It kind of keeps me energized and in a good mood. It helps me stay focused, which I obviously love, but sometimes it's not even just for work. Sometimes I have it after work for a little mental reset, or even before a workout when I'm feeling low on energy. And here's the kicker, is I'm not reaching for nearly as much caffeine. So I've started using it intentionally, probably 2 to 3 times a week when I kind of need that extra little boost to get through the tougher parts of my week. So make the switch to an all-natural energy and get a little mood lift with this plant-based tonic. So go to botanictonics.com and use code VINE, and that's going to get you $40 off a 12-pack case. Again, that's botanictonics.com, code VINE. I've been loving this tonic, and I'm sure you will too. Okay, so my friends over at Brooks sent me their brand new Glycerin Max, and I have to say these shoes are a game changer. Completely redefined what a running shoe can be, and I'm really excited to share my experience with you. That's how good it is. So first off, the Glycerin Max is the first of its kind for Brooks, and you can feel the difference with every single step, whether you're a seasoned runner or just starting your fitness journey. Those shoes are designed to elevate your run from the moment you hit the pavement or the treadmill. The shoe features DNA-tuned cushioning, which is their next-gen nitrogen-infused foam that's been expertly tuned for the ultimate running experience. The heel is all about plush, soft landings, while the forefoot gives you that responsive bounce to spring you forward effortlessly. And trust me, you'll feel the difference, especially on those long runs when every bit of support counts. I wear them to my Barry's Bootcamp class for the running. It's incredible. And one of my favorite things about the Glycerin Max is the Glide Roll Rocker. This design really helps you transition smoothly from heel to toe, making your run feel almost effortless. It's like the shoe is doing half the work for you. I used to get shin splints and I don't anymore. So I've been running in these for a bit now, and it just feels like I could keep going. Well, maybe not forever, but for a long time. The combination of soft cushioning and responsive support just makes each step feel light and energized. It's like running on clouds, but with the right amount of bounce to keep you moving forward. So if you're looking to take running out to the next level, you gotta check these out. Head on over to brooksrunning.com and learn more to get your hands on the best pair of running shoes. Well, you guys cover a lot on your podcast of like crazy stories from dating and online dating with the apps. Yeah. So like, what's the craziest story you've ever heard with or experienced with the dating app?
Well, it's not crazy. You know, it's funny. Like when I'm asked about crazy stories, it's usually like my frustrations, and they're actually like get debated. Like I think women encounter like crazy shit. Yeah. Because it's a bad combination of like guy who wants sex with, especially on an app. Yeah. When a guy gets a match on an app, oh, she wants to me. Yeah. That's not how it's necessarily intended. I think from this podcast, like a woman's like, oh, there's a lot of boxes here. Let me go and see what it's like. Right. And a guy's coming in like wild animal, like, you know, and it's like, because that's also a positive. If you're out there and you're like wondering if he's attracted to you, no guy goes on a date with a woman he's not attracted to. Yeah. So he's attracted to you. So like, you know, you are his version of whatever he's looking for. But like I've had an instance recently, and we talked about this with your sister, right? About hood fishing. Hood fishing. Yes. What that? Instead of catfishing, they are telling me that they're in one neighborhood that they are not actually living in.
That's do you have any of this?
So
I've
never
even heard of that. Maybe they work in the city, but they live in the suburbs or something.
But their profile says they're in Manhattan, or they're here for a weekend, and it happens differently. From the male end, it is like I think it's actually interesting because you were on our podcast and you said you would like a long distance relationship.
I did
you
say
did
that,
say
yes.
that. So but it is interesting the amount of women that I get DMs from. And listen, I am like you. I'm an extreme example, but it is relatable. So it's like a woman will be like, I'd move to New York. Right. I'd pick up my whole life if you told me to. Yeah. And I'm like, what the is this? I don't want this. This is a lot of pressure. So
it's a lot of pressure.
I matched with a woman. And literally she said, and it's happened a lot. So not just her, but it's happened a few times we're talking, and then I'm like, oh, you're right nearby, and she's like, I'm heading to Miami. Heading to Miami. Didn't say back.
Okay.
And the whole time I'm like, this is a Manhattan woman.
What a shitty foundation to start on. Lies.
Right, but then and I go, are you in? And so we start texting a little more, and it turned into like I was like, are you in Miami or New York? And she's like, well, I'm here all the time. That's how it ends. And I do think if you ever come down to Miami, maybe we could meet. And this is how it ends. And I go, listen, I was as respectful as I could be. I go, this isn't for me. I've done this dynamic. And it's interesting that I'm the devil in this. I'm the one not trying. I'm the asshole. To me, this is crazy.
Well,
it's actually crazy.
I think there's a few reasons that women do this. There's like multiple reasons. One, there's like, okay, you live in the suburbs and you're pretending to live in the city, right? Why? City is cooler, right?
Sure.
It's like it's a more desirable area. It shows you're more of a person of the world. It
Right.
shows you're like maybe like working in something exciting.
And more single people in a city, denser
Yeah.
population.
more options,
Right.
right? That's one reason. And then I think the other reason is that like women, kind of like you just said about men. Men are on the apps and they're always like, oh, like this person would have sex with me, right? That's the thought that's going through their head. I think if women are on the apps, and even if they live in a different place or they're swiping in a city they're visiting to, they're like, I could make this work I could make a relationship with anyone.
Right.
If it worked out, like I'd be willing to make sacrifices.
You know, it's so funny, but in this, to stay on this, it's so funny, like when you guys are like, when I'm like, yeah, that when a guy gets a match on an app, it's like, oh, she'd me.
Yeah.
Like that sounds crazy probably to a lot of people. They're like, well, that's not how I swipe. I'm not I'm not a slut. I'm not like a whore. You know, like they would go, it would become defensive. But I'm just telling you how the guy is like the taste he has. I know how his brain works.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me that you're like, you match with a guy on a dating app and you're like, well, I could make this work. To me, that's as crazy as someone going, well, I could live in the lion cage at the zoo.
I mean, how many?
You know, like he's thinking all that she'll me, and you're like, well, I could make a life with this lion.
But how many emails do we get though from people who are like, you know, he gave up this red flag and this red flag and this red flag, but you know, I kept dating him because, like, you never know. Like, I could work with this or something like that. How many of those do we get?
So many. I could work with this. It seems to be the female mantra.
Well, we were talking on your guys' podcast on like some, what were we calling it? Like what did we say? The things that like he can't drive this car or he has
thank you or next.
Like a superficial like
Right.
things that you're allowed to have as deal breakers.
Yeah. Like what is your superficial deal breakers? Because we kind of talked about mine.
Ooh, my superficial deal breaker. This is the hard part about doing this podcast.
Do you want me to start?
Too skinny.
Really?
Yeah, I like
You
a curvy
some-
woman.
You
Yeah.
like curves.
Too skinny would be. That's just I would go. It's not going to be something that I would be into for long.
Isn't that funny? Why do we shit on people for having a preference?
We shit on. It's hard for men. I'm saying this like I do think it's hard. There's not a lot of straight men out there with bold opinions on dating and relationships,
Right.
and it's because it's just an easy person to bash. And I understand. Like I'm speaking for the icky.
Yeah.
So I do understand that. So like I do think like. Because and also when I say skinny ain't for me, you know that isn't like I'm not saying vanilla. Like I don't think that they're bad people or not good looking. I get it. Like
It's your superficial thing. that
right.
you
Listen, what if I also said on the podcast I wouldn't date a teacher
Yes, or a speech therapist.
or a speech therapist?
Why?
Like a lot of superficial things.
No, speech pathologist.
Speech pathologist.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, the speech pathologist rant is more about them as people and.
The teacher is not about them as people. The speech pathologists are horrible people.
Well, I think it's a New York specific rant, don't you think? Because my thing with speech pathologist, I can't believe I'm going to.
My thing with speech pathologists.
When you move to this city, you meet all these women are like going into speech pathology, and it seems they do it like under. You think I'm like, wow, they're going to be like teaching. They're like, oh my god, they're doing such a selfless thing, and then they're every single one says the same thing. They're like. No, you get to have summers off on the school calendar. You make a ton of money. The state pays you to do nothing. You know, like they all have this like
It's like a lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you really talk to one, you find out it's this big grift.
One.
I don't like to talk to them.
They're just finding
You
one
people.
giant loophole to like be lazy.
It kind of feels like
But
that.
maybe
But
they're just saying
That's
that
funny.
to make it more, to not come off as like they're like a savior.
a hero.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying this in jest. Please, speech pathologist, speech therapist.
Come for him.
You're
Slide-
great.
If
I
you're
love you.
curvy,
You're heroes.
I will date you.
Destroy
Yeah.
him.
Let me see that fat ass, and then we'll talk. So then the teacher thing is like, listen, I think a teacher, like that, again, like I have to explain this. If a woman was like, I don't want to date a teacher, I don't think many people really say anything bad about her. Like, if a woman was like, oh, I don't want to date a male teacher, you'd be like, yeah, no, I get it. like I say that and I have to explain myself. And it's like, it's not that I don't think, like people will DM me, you hate teachers. No, I don't hate teachers.
You
know
just
how hard
have
it
a
is for my-
preference.
Date one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how hard is this going to be for my future kids to have a teacher?
And I asked the question and you answered.
Right.
That's
I also think teacher's a little earnest for you as a comedian.
Right. And it's like, summer's off.
you
I
have to
don't want
watch
like,
what you say too because it could get back to the class.
Yeah, I know, and also like I don't know. No, I don't want to say vanilla when you love chocolate. Like I
Yeah.
just think like to me it's very attractive to see like a woman lawyer. Like I think that's hot.
Right.
Like and again this goes back to the conversation on the podcast that we have all the time. We get sent. Do you think it's hard to date as a woman CEO? And I'm like, you're going to meet one guy, you might not meet another guy. You know, like,
Right.
yeah, there's issues you have that teachers don't have and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, you get shit on for that and women get shit on for other things. Like,
Of course.
you know.
I'm not, being a woman is easy.
Totally. you know how
I
it is.
get it. Yeah.
You podcast with one.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. What is your superficial non-negotiable?
I had two. One was a marathon runner. I don't like people who run the marathon.
It is freaky.
Yeah, it's just not. I think it's just not a sensibility that aligns with me. It's just like
I get that.
I don't know what it is.
Well, to me, I'm like that. Well, it's crazy. I feel like to run for that amount of time,
yeah,
Right.
and
to nowhere.
and knowing that you are possibly going to shit your pants or puke and not feel good. Why?
To prove to prove to themselves that they can. I don't know
Right.
that.
Well, I understand that
Yeah.
that element of like, what is life not giving to you?
Right.
Right. You
Why
needed this.
Who is this for?
Right.
Right.
To what? To pat yourself on the back? For us to like give money to like thank
Yes.
you?
Whenever there's the marathon, I'm always like, these people are running through all the boroughs. Like, can I give them some errands to run? Like things I need to return on the way. Like, it just seems so stupid to run to nowhere.
And calling it running is kind also.
What? What do
Marathon?
you
What would you
A
call
lot
it?
of
Jogging?
A lot of jogging going on. Man.
mean? A lot of slow
a
pacers.
lot of chilling out.
A lot of walking. I see some walking.
Are you
happening.
trying to get us hated by every
Yeah,
group?
canceled.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the headline.
Yeah,
Here. Let me
this
have it. Okay, marathon runners and.
And this one's probably going to get me a lot of heat too. Applies too much sunscreen.
Oh.
You know, like a man just slathering on, like he was like too concerned with the sunburn.
That's more of an ick.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Would that be a
That's an ick.
I agree. It's an ick. Yeah.
I feel like men slathering and they don't rub it in all the way because they're so scared
Yeah.
of like a burn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get a burn.
Yeah, just
I
get a
think
little burn.
Just
Agreed.
Get some skin cancer.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's a, I
Can't
have
handle
a,
the sun.
Right. What's wrong with you?
I have a shared ick list with my friends.
Ooh.
Ick, men who shuffle in flip flops, like shuffling.
Ooh, a
their
shuffle
feet.
walk.
Yeah, shuffle walk.
Where do you how do you shuffle? Like where do you
Well,
shuffle?
it's-
like
Like,
you're
it
dragging
is-
your feet.
It is interesting that guy's afraid of falling and hurting himself, and you're like, ugh, would game over.
Hey,
that's the
we're-
same. Being
we're-
afraid of anything.
We
Right.
are on the same page of doing like superficial. Like I'm not saying
I'm with you.
Yeah.
No. I
Good
find
because
all-
there's 82 here.
What's
I
the
want
worst?
that.
What's like the most messed up one?
Smells his fingers.
That seems fair.
I agree with that. Well, the sister Mary, Catherine Gallagher, just
Yeah,
like
I've seen
even
it.
like the way there's no way to smell fingers. I agree because like what?
Yeah.
How do you even put your fingers up to your face?
And
Why-
why are you
why are
smelling
Right.
your fingers?
That's
But
the
men
big
do
this
this.
would be the
They'll like
best.
swipe their balls and smell their fingers to
Oh,
see.
no.
Oh, I do that.
I
Yeah,
don't like that.
all guys
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
You just want to know. I did smell my balls the other day, and I did go, Jared.
Can you tell when there's an
Oh,
issue?
balls smell.
Yes,
balls can
but
really...
do you ever smell and go, "Ooh, Jared"? Or are you like, always
Yes.
like, oh,
sometimes I wear. Now that you meant, thank you for bringing this
delightful.
up. I love the spray.
Is this a
Ball spray?
Ball spray.
There's
I
a
use
ball spray? Like a
I didn't know
deodorant?
that.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
deodorant for your
nice.
balls,
That's
and
nice.
I put it in it. Well, it's for chafing, and it's for like it's
you're a
Gold
runner.
Bond. Yeah, I'm a huge runner. I Gold Bond spray,
Okay.
and it's cooling.
Oh.
So after you get out of the
Cooling.
shower,
Okay.
and
Sounds kinda
I'll do
nice.
from anus to nuts.
Do you do this before a date?
Before everything.
Okay.
Oh.
I sometimes if you've been chafing, it can burn. It actually can burn you, and
Yeah.
you're like, so there's a moment in my apartment where I'm literally jumping around, but it does have a very kind smell
Okay.
for balls.
Is
that's
Gold
what-
Bond Johnson & Johnson are completely different? Because
It might be the same.
Johnson & Johnson had something that came out where their powder was affecting.
This is no talc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Okay.
talc.
No
okay.
talc.
It's not going to affect your breastfeeding.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Oh my god.
No
okay.
talc spray.
Okay.
I think I would have saw.
But you don't
report on
swipe
that.
and smell in public.
Why do
Or
you
do you
both?
accident-
Why you both asked me this question? Do I give off
I
smell
feel like
my
I would've
balls in public?
I would have seen it
Right
by now.
I
No, I
think
do it
guys-
in bed. I'll be like,
Oh, that's
let me.
fine. In the
Right.
privacy
You guys
of your
don't
own
like
home.
check out your own bodies?
I'll smell like my armpit if I'm like
If I'm a-
running.
yeah,
low.
if
Do
I'm
women
about
check
to-
to see if their vaginas smell?
Yeah. If I'm about to hook up with somebody, I do check.
How do you check?
How
Just
do you
a
check?
swipe?
A swipe.
A little swipe?
swipe?
Yeah.
I don't know why I just made the head motion.
Is that what it would look like?
That's what I do.
Little
Yeah,
swipe of the
guess,
V?
yeah.
A swipe and a sniff.
Yeah,
Swipe and sniff?
I
Yeah.
have smelled. I've smelled before. Now that I'm married, I don't.
You don't. Whatever goes down
It is
there.
what
down-
it is.
That's true. I like that. I can't wait to get there.
Right.
I can't wait to get to the.
Is this
one
what
of
I'm
the huge
trying
benefits.
to get to?
Yeah.
Marry a woman who's just.
You think any married man is smelling his balls before he has sex? No, I think
No,
he's-
I'm not smelling my balls before sex.
Oh, you're not.
It's more for you?
It's more for me. Yeah, yeah. I'm more in bed. I think playing with your balls is a very male. Like I mean,
Why?
like Al Bundy, hand in the pant was like him. Playing with balls is is an activity.
What age does that start?
7.
As early as it gets. My earliest memory.
This was that's
playing with
my
it.
first memory.
That's a good parenting tip. Just make sure that that your son isn't smelling his balls in public.
Right. You got to make sure. Hey, stop touching yourself. That was
Yeah.
They
that's
do
a
that.
thing said to young boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
do
seems
that.
fair.
Well, that's like boobs.
Yes, I don't
Men
play with
think,
boobs.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
men think, I would play with boobs if I had them? Like guys think that way. We don't sit there and play with our boobs.
Well, boobs are in most of the time in bras. I would think that
Not
makes
me.
it
I
harder.
never wear a bra.
Never.
Even if they
No.
weren't in a bra, I don't think I would be like.
yeah.
If there was a ball bra, but some could
Yeah.
call that underwear.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a banana hammock.
There's been underwear companies that are trying to like make this like
Cooling effect.
sack. No,
Yeah.
they like
Holds it.
that holds it.
Yeah.
Is the least comfortable thing I've
Oh.
ever put on my body. I can't.
Now you
deal-
know what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like tons. They're just throwing uncomfortable stuff around us.
Literally-
Waist trainers.
Literally, why
It
is
is
our
hard to be a
underwear
woman.
a string up the ass?
Oh my god, it is unfair.
That's the least comfortable. I remember
Heels?
having to get used to a thong. My mom was like, "You should probably wear one for ballet," and I had to get used to something being up my ass.
Is the whole thing with thongs that you don't see the underwear line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That seems like such a crazy thing to like. Like
so
it
are
is.
high heels. Crazy.
It is
Heels are
crazy. Like
insane.
for women, a lot of times it'll be like, you bring up the societal stuff, and it's like, well, that's one you guys can fix right away.
Heels.
No, even heels. What are they for?
What are we fixing?
I'm saying the underwear.
Oh,
Did I say something wrong?
Just don't wear thongs. you're
Yeah,
saying?
just don't wear
Okay.
thongs. I don't know. Like, I maybe it's for you to.
What do
not
you
see-
think of full coverage underwear on a woman?
If I
Granny
see,
panties, as they've been dubbed.
If I saw it, I wouldn't be like, oh, who could touch her? Like I wouldn't be so offended. I'd be like, oh, not that I even know.
Is like a man's like, I'm gonna like put this in the back of my head and
that would
break
be
up
like,
with her in
just
2
tell
months.
me you're turned off.
Look at this feminist who doesn't care about the world's pressures.
What about underarm hair?
Underarm hair?
Yeah.
I would again. I'll go. Someone's made decisions. I don't know. Every one of these turns me into like a
an asshole.
An asshole,
No,
right?
we're not saying general. Your personal preference. Would you be
I'm not like look. Well, I'll say this: Bush. I've always been pro Bush.
pro Bush.
Pro Bush.
How
Always
progressive
been-
of you.
That's me.
Wow.
Always been pro Bush.
Okay.
Always.
I think that's an age thing.
Oh, okay.
I had an ex once say to me, "Oh, is that like a landing strip?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "That must be a your age thing." And I was like,
Really? What a
As in, like
weird.
most women have nothing.
"Yeah." Like, and he was only 3 years younger than me.
Weird.
That's
Yeah.
such
That's
a
a crazy
weird,
thing to
dumb
say.
cock block.
Why would you say
for him
that
to
to
do?
you?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
immediately dry.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
That must be an
"Oh."
age thing.
He said that
That's
must be an
crazy.
age
That's
thing.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're seeing the landing strip, the only thing to say is how much it turns you on.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Especially
That's-
well manicured. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
Yes.
that's why I'm pro Bush.
A manicured bush or like a. Wow, that's.
Well, because I think in this day and age where most people are like waxing,
Yeah.
the idea that you would zig while everyone else is zagging, you must be thinking about it in a sexual way. Like to me, it's like a turn on.
Do you
That's
like
true.
a non-iPhone? Is that sort of a zig
No,
while
that's
everyone else?
not the same.
Okay.
Not the same.
No, that's like on your. That's
Does the
your ick
iPhone have a
list.
bush?
Would you date someone who didn't have an iPhone?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I would, but I'd be like, what happened? What's going on?
Would you date
Would you?
some- Yes.
You would. Okay.
I would be
Would
confused.
you question it? You'd go, what made you? I would. It would be something that I would go. You can't just be like, oh no. Like I'd have to know the deal. Like, did you get money off? Is this a family
is this a
plan?
sponsored
right?
thing?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
going on? Who paid you to do this?
Which
This
podcast?
fucking, like-
Is it the camera? Like a lot of Android people are like obsessed with the
The
camera.
camera is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I will give them that. Okay, you know, small, easy changes in your skincare routine can seriously lead to amazing results. And everybody's secret weapon these days is Dime Beauty. Their clean, high-end skincare is not only affordable, but it actually works. And they did not compromise on performance to make it clean either. Dime is 100% transparent about every single ingredient, so you can confidently use their products daily. And like a lot of people, you want to keep things simple, so check out their Works collection. It's got everything that you need, no 10-step routine there. It's all one powerful package, a gentle cleanser, toner, 2 amazing serums, and 2 luxurious moisturizers. Oh, and their sold-out retinol alternative, TBT cream, is finally back in stock. You get all the benefits of retinol without the peeling and the redness, which is never good. And with over 2 million happy customers and all 5-star reviews, Dime Beauty is where it's at. So if you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for? Love your skin again? Go to dimebeautyco.com to unlock your discount. That's dimebeautyco.com. Dime Beauty, clean, affordable, luxurious skincare. This episode of Off the Vine is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you listening right now, you're probably multitasking. While you're listening to me chat away, you're probably driving, cleaning, exercising, maybe you're grocery shopping. But if you are not in some kind of moving vehicle, there is something else that you can be doing right now, and that's getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy. You can save money by doing it right from your own phone, and drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year, so you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now and quote your car insurance at progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates national average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary in discounts not available in all states and situations. I'm still laughing at my ick list. You guys
Please,
have been
give us
talking.
more.
Keep going. Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a
You
couple
came to the
more
right
just,
place.
just because these are so funny. I forgot about some of them. Dress pants that are too blue.
Too blue.
Dress pants that are too blue. Wow. I haven't heard that one before.
What do you think of a green suit?
Love a green suit.
I think it's in, right?
I
What do you
love
think
a
of
green
Mike
suit.
loves a green suit.
So do I.
I like one half of a green suit. Like I like the green blazer. I don't know if I need the pants.
On like
also.
a black pant, could you do that?
I don't really know what
Yeah.
what you do. But Mike's very into the green. Guys love a green suit.
Money.
That's what you think of?
No, I've seen a few green suits lately, and
Yeah.
I have had that lust for them. I want to be in a green suit.
It's very
but
color. It's very peacocky move.
a little
But
bold, yeah. Brown shoes, green
What about,
suit,
what
look like a
about
big
men,
tree.
men on one of those swing rides at the fair?
Like with a child.
like
By
his
himself.
feet dangling.
I
On a date? Yeah, I could see that.
I went to Copenhagen and I went to this thing called Tivoli, which is like what Disney was based off of.
Yeah.
I think it's in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but it's called Tivoli Gardens. In the middle, they have this beautiful bar, and it's like not Disney. It's like it's beautiful.
Like an adult Disney?
Yeah, a little bit. There's kids and
You
there's
went
rides.
alone?
I went alone.
Okay.
I was alone.
A grown man in an amusement park alone. Is
Alone.
that on the ick list?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
adding
bad.
it now.
No, and then there was a swing that went around in circles, and
you went on it.
I went on it, and you do feel like less of a man. I will say, like because there's a
dangling
feet.
Right, there's a moment where the ride lifts up, and your feet are like now off the ground, and you're like, this isn't.
Not
No,
hot,
I'm never gonna. I can never again. I'll never get hard.
I
you know.
think if you have a kid, it's okay.
Right,
You're
oh,
on
of
it with a
course.
kid.
Even so, that guy doesn't look great.
Right.
But you're right. Me alone,
Alone, yeah.
taking a selfie.
Did you do it?
Yes, of course. I have a video of it. I'll show it to you. It came up as like a memory
I
a
get
couple
so
days ago.
giggly with ick lists. I don't know why. Like, I could just have a full-blown laugh attack right
You're
now.
just
It's
imagining them. They're
Right.
absurd.
like
and it's
a
also
guy
like-
who says "ouchie" is on the list.
That's good.
Ouchie.
My husband originally, when I
Or my tummy
when I
hurts.
started dating him, he said doggy, and that I was like,
Doggy.
I caught that. I was like, that is you can't say that anymore.
Well, this is the thing about ick lists is like what makes them funny is that everyone's ick is someone else's husband.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know, so like
that's
it's
so
not
true.
like you are like sent to the well to be killed because
Yeah.
you said owie. It's just like
Well-
you like this because you see a lot of men on the internet that get angry about this. They're like,
Yes.
well, you someone's a little choosy. Well, you'll never date someone
Oh,
again.
they
It's
get
like
so
they
mad.
can't have fun with it, and,
No.
it's a very like
God, it's
Jordan Peterson
self-deprecating.
Yes.
It's like we're not saying you.
It's more about us.
alpha
just
bro.
funny,
No,
right?
it's funny.
And in
Yeah.
fact, the men who give you the icks are actually probably better husbands because they're
That's
like,
true.
you know what I mean? They're not like
They're not
these douchey
worried
guys
about-
trying
yeah.
to like posture, come
Right.
off cool.
Yeah.
Like they're Phil Dunphys for
They're-
Modern Family.
They are Phil
you know?
Dunphys. They're on the elliptical, taking
right.
selfies,
Yeah.
and saying "ouchie."
and willing to go on that ride alone.
There you go.
That's
Slide
me.
that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, have you guys also heard of breadcrumbing?
Of course.
course.
Yeah.
How come I didn't know about breadcrumbing?
I got a whole bag of bread in my.
You just
Right.
breadcrumb girls,
No,
or what is
well,
it?
Breadcrumbing. Can we get a definition on it? It's gone. It's
You want like the official
Yeah, let's get the
definition?
official
Yeah.
Let's hear what
definition
it is.
because breadcrumbing. Sometimes you hear it and I go. Now it's what the problem with buzzwords is.
So many.
They they just become a thing.
Yeah.
And then we just say them and they're blanket statements.
Yeah.
And so, as this happened with ghosting, everything's ghosting, and
Yeah.
it's like
Everything's love bombing.
everything
Yeah.
right, and it's like this is the frustrating part about dating talk, and is because if you say that, then you're right.
Yeah,
No one ever goes, well, what do you mean?
yeah.
And then you
Well,
go,
words are very powerful.
right. And in the world of dating talk, you know, I'm speaking for the men a lot of times, and it's the men are, it's easy to, there's a punch up, punch down. The
Yeah.
internet works in like, we can only punch up.
Yeah.
So a lot of dating talk, it's like women punching up at men because they're the ones breadcrumbing. They're the ones doing these things. And a lot of them come from like kind of human spots. Like
Right.
sometimes there's the extreme of like someone had sex with you, never called you or talked to you again. That's ghosting in its most extreme. Dated
Yeah.
for 3 months, then they disappeared. That's
Yeah.
ghosting.
Yeah.
That's a horrific thing for someone to do.
It is.
But then you get in this in-between land where someone's like, well, I texted you to go on the date and then you didn't answer and we never met up, and they ghosted me. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, do you really deserve the hugs from society? I don't know.
Right.
So what is the definition of breadcrumbing?
Breadcrumbing is a form of manipulation in which someone gives another person just enough attention to keep them interested without any intention of committing. It's also known as Hansel and Greteling and is similar to ghosting.
Okay. So I would imagine like if we're
Hansel
putting
and
this in-
Greteling is way funnier.
Yeah, in concrete terms, I think it's like I respond to your Instagram story, but I'm not asking you out, or I'm like,
Or like I'm flirting with you, but then I might not talk to you.
Well, it's interesting. This goes back to something we talked about of like the male plight,
Yeah.
which no one cares about. I understand. But let me give you another side.
you have
to
no
this.
problems.
The breadcrumbing is like, because important to that definition is when you know you don't want to go out with them.
Right.
Men love vague options.
Yeah.
So that is inherently puts you in a position to be a breadcrumber.
Right.
Because your whole life as a guy, you're told, talk to her, be a man,
Yeah.
talk to her. And that makes you a man.
Yeah.
Being bold,
Yeah.
talking to her, telling her you will like her.
Yeah.
These are all things that
Sending
we
The guy
fire
has to say
emoji.
it first.
Right, say
Yeah.
it first.
Yeah.
And then you get this great tool called the internet where it allows you, the internet built by nerdy men
Yeah.
that didn't have the social abilities to say hello and talk to her.
Correct.
So a lot of the tools on social media and on dating apps are for half-ass, making the water safer to swim into.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think a lot of people who breadcrumb, like when we get into the vagueness, breadcrumbing, if you're sending fire emojis to someone you're never going to ask out while you're living with another woman, yeah, you've cheated on one and you're breadcrumbing the other.
Right.
But if you're like in the dating world and you're single and you're like, she's cute, and then it's like, can't go out this week, but yeah, maybe next week, and she's giving me attention. Like, I do think there's more empathy
Yeah, I
to
feel
be
like
given to that.
breadcrumbing to me from that definition sounds a lot more manipulative than
Right.
anything.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like, it can be.
Yeah.
It can also be
But it can-
flirting.
Right.
And I'm not sure
Yeah.
what I want to do with this person
That
that
is,
I like.
I get that because
Right.
I'm like, wow, I could have been a breadcrumber like that.
course.
But I'm just thinking of like what I'm just taking my time.
You've DM'd with someone?
Yeah.
It's almost like
Yeah.
networking for like dating.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're just keeping your pool wide. And then
Networking
if
for
you
dating.
Need, it's a Friday, you can then feel like you can, well, that's the manipulative part of it.
Yeah.
Like I build trust with this person. And so I'm going to like tap them when I want something sexually.
Or when it's
Maybe.
convenient for me.
Yes.
Well, this is the other, with breadcrumbing, it's also like, when does it become offensive? It's like, well, you're dating someone, you've been on 5 dates with another woman, and you're still sending me texts of we should go out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty black and white. You're
Yeah.
doing something kind of wrong to that woman, and you're making me think that I'm going to go on a date with you.
Right.
So, but then you go, well, is 3 dates with another woman and letting you know I want to go out? Like, this is where it gets into the minutia, and this is why, like, I think what we do with the UA podcast is fun and good
Yeah.
because we can break it down and go, maybe they're not such a monster, or maybe
Maybe they are.
Or maybe they are.
right? Or maybe you're needing to be a little bit more alert to you're being manipulated.
Well, we're going to make you I think that's what we do best on our show is we make you a better consumer of men that you're meeting.
Right.
Like better
Which is
better
great.
able to read the signs of this person's being manipulative or this person might not be looking for the same thing as you.
Right. The worst type of person is like, you guys should stop the breadcrumbing. We're never gonna stop it.
Right.
This is Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Like, what are you out of
Hansel,
your mind?
Hansel and Gretel.
Literally, Hansel and Gretel. We're comparing it to a children's story that's been around for hundreds of thousands of years or whatever it is. We're in the business of it's raining. Here's an umbrella.
Yeah.
Right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong with that too because it's also just your opinion.
Right. Well, yeah. I'm talking out of
Also
my ass all
hold
the
for-
time.
Is that a turnoff?
I actually,
What is that?
it's like a suction
can,
cup
like,
thing to.
I can like. Well,
Does
that's
it
not
work?
a good example.
Is mine?
Oh.
Mine's a magnet, and it pops out.
It's a magnet. What
Where
are
do
you
you-
attaching
yeah,
it to?
the
the
fridge?
fridge.
You put it on the
I
fridge?
watched The Bachelor. I put it up on the fridge. and-
Really?
It's a poor man's TV.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, as we head into fall, there is nothing more that I love than getting cozy, enjoying a pumpkin spice latte. Yep. And of course, slipping into a super soft sweater from Quince. I am all about making that wardrobe transition from summer to fall, and Quince has made it so easy. Their Mongolian cashmere sweaters, guys, they start at like $50. And not just sweaters, they've got beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, so much more. And the best part, Quince prices everything 50 to 80% less than similar brands. How, you might ask? Well, they partner directly with top factories and cut out the middleman, passing those savings straight to us. Plus, every factory they work with follows safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, so you can feel good about what you're wearing. And let me tell you, the quality and luxury feel of these pieces are next level. So get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Head over to quince.com/vine for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/vine to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/vine.
betches.com/fine.
Okay, I'm going to play a quick game with you guys. It's pretty much like the game we did on yours.
We love a
Love it.
game.
Yeah.
Love games.
There's only so many games.
There's only so many games. There's just different names for them. It's like,
Exactly.
thank you or next. This is date or ditch.
Love
Date or
it.
ditch. Love it. We're going to be good at it.
So date scenarios, I'm going to throw them out there, and you guys have to tell me if this would be a date or ditch for you. And, of course, why. So it's so funny. These are like some of the similar questions. But your date orders food for you without asking what you like. Now, we talked about this on your
Okay.
podcast, but I want to know.
Unless it's like, I would say ditch, unless we're at a restaurant he goes to all the time.
And he knows
he's
what
like,
to get. And he knows
listen,
your food allergies and your
yes.
intolerances and all the things.
and he's like, listen, the menu is like super complicated, but like I know like you have to order correctly, and like I know exactly
Okay, that's
what
fair.
like the best items
fair.
are. I'd be like, yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I'd be intrigued.
Yeah.
It's such a bold move from the male end. Like you don't really meet a lot of women who
She'll
are like,
have,
right.
right.
Like there's a very like tropey male thing
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
That if a woman was like, don't give us a menu, I know what this guy wants. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah,
bitch
it's
came
like a
to play.
power move.
Yeah,
Someone's
it's a
gonna be
lot.
packing for you.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Take me on your journey.
That's a good point. I think I
You
would
know?
I like both scenarios that you just gave. Okay, your date spends more time talking to the waiter than you.
That's a turn off.
Yeah.
I'm the show. No.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I'm like, are you not entertained?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's such a thing as like a disrespect on a date. Like when you're on a date with someone, you're there to meet that person. If you're actively trying to meet other people on the date, I'm always like, well,
Not a good sign.
Right.
what happened?
Agreed. Ditch.
What about if they're overly obsessed with their dogs?
What does that look like?
Okay, like I'd probably do it. Like if I was on a date with you and I just kept showing you pictures of my dogs and talking about my dogs and I had dog hair on my outfit.
And I'm not asking you for
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
If I'm not asking for more, it might be a ditch. I just don't think. I think that like my level of being into dogs, which is again medium.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think we wouldn't be a match.
Okay.
I don't think a guy who's being honest has ever been pushed one way or another by a dog. Like I don't think a guy likes a woman more because of a dog. I don't
Or
think
less.
a guy likes a girl less because of a dog. I think we are nodding our heads and lying to you
Yeah.
to get to other conversations
Yeah.
when you talk about your dog.
That's fair.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I see him on the apps. I'm not like I see a dating app profile with a dog and like you got to be good to if my dog likes you, I like you. And you're like,
Right. Well,
I'm like,
guys with
okay.
dogs try to like
Right.
think that's gonna get them laid. Like
I think it's
Yeah.
manipulative.
Yeah.
I think for the guy to like write back to that, like I was thinking about it only because I'm on the apps and you see a lot of like, if my dog likes you, I'll
Yeah.
like you. And I always think of the dude who would like write to that. And I'm like, so he's just like lying to her off the bat. Like I love a dog. Like, oh, what's he going to write to that?
right. He's
You
doing
know?
it to have sex.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the,
That's so true.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's been on my mind lately.
I'm
so I'm
Glad
happy you brought it up.
Yeah. I'm glad I brought
Would
it
you
up.
would you be with someone who like wasn't that interested in seeing the pictures?
Yeah, I'd be like,
Turned
pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend and lie to me.
Right. I
You
can't.
do.
I
Smile
thought-
and nod until we get to the
Right.
bedroom.
Right.
how
This
I'd be
dog's going to be
thinking,
making eye
that's right.
contact with you while I suck your dick.
Yeah, you better,
You better
like
like
it.
it. Get used to this
Yeah.
face.
Okay, last one is what if they've never been in a serious relationship before?
Ooh. I like this question.
Yeah. I
How
do
old
too.
are they?
Well, old.
How old am I?
Yeah.
In the scenario, I guess.
You're your age and they're your age.
They're my age. Wouldn't be a deal breaker or wouldn't be a ditch, but I think I'd be a little nervous that they were just looking to like
Yeah.
hook up, because that seems to be what they have been
Yeah.
doing. But I wouldn't say it's that in itself is a ditch. What about you?
I think everyone has, and I don't mean to call this baggage, but it is baggage.
Yeah.
It is your story.
Yeah.
We always talk about that, like own your baggage.
Yeah.
It would really be how they talked about it. Like that
That's
would
true.
really make a difference for me. If someone's like, I'm never been in a relationship, but like I was, I had this guy, a lot of 3-monthers,
Yeah.
and I never really wanted it, and I'm thinking about it now. Like it's all, how do you own that story?
Right.
In the same way, like that guy who, if a guy's never been in a relationship at your age, you go, well, how do you own that story?
Right. I
You
need
know,
to know
like
more context.
Yeah.
right. Because I think a lot of women get self-conscious about this.
Yeah.
And now at 39, if I was on a date with a 30-year-old woman who in 2024, I think her parents would think differently than I would.
Yeah.
Like her parents would be like, you've never had a boyfriend. Like I'm sure I could understand that
Yeah.
that's something, because my parents would be like, even when I was in high school, my parents would be like, none of you and your friends, no one has girlfriends, no one, and I'm like, it's just different, you know, it's not the same as it was. The idea of like everyone having this high school beau, you know, like, so to go too long on this, I I know you wanted to date or ditch. No, but I just think it is something that I think the self-conscious is maybe overblown.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Well, that was my game.
I loved your game. It was great.
I really loved being on your guys' podcast. That was very fun.
Please
You're
come back. We
fantastic.
loved
That was-
having you.
I
That was-
loved it. It was so fun to talk to you
I
guys.
sing in the streets about total change from my initial.
Yes!
I'm a Kaitlyn Bristowe fan club, so
Same.
Yeah.
I
Sign
love
us up.
that.
Yeah, and I met
you're
your
a-
niece. You came to the show.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a drink.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was all
she
fun.
loved you. I sent you a text after. My niece, who's 16, was like, she's gonna kill me for saying this, but she was like, Jared is so hot.
Oh.
Ooh,
And
little young.
a little young
Little
for
young,
me.
yeah.
But I will say I was the fattest and most disgusting I've ever been. So I
What?
appreciate
Wow.
that. The video. You got to change the angles on.
Oh,
on
okay, good
your
to know.
For me,
Okay.
it was like right under. It was like a dad cam. I was also sweaty and hungover. Again,
The youth thinks you're. That's how you know you're on your way to superstardom.
I'm a hot. Come on.
Okay, well,
man.
that's good
I'm like a
feedback.
Backstreet Boy.
I'm gonna change the angles of the cameras.
Just do it from like the moon. That angle. That's what I need. I
As
need
wide as possible.
a wide
Yeah.
downward angle from like a telescope.
not. I was trying to be like the cool kids, like 0.05 from down here.
No.
Do you ever
okay.
see like a wedding album and the photographer's supposed to be really good and they're like, it's like too clear? You're like,
Right. Give me some
Yeah, I
black
need
and
some
white.
sort of blur.
right, yeah,
Right.
I need like
need
not the clearest picture you have.
Yeah.
I just bought, not to go to Plug City, I just bought a camera that is it's like, I don't know why I bought this. It was like such a frivolous purchase.
Oh.
It was like a throwaway. It looks like a throwaway. Like it looks like an
Disposable?
old. It looks like a disposable, but it's not.
Oh.
And you can like attach it to your computer afterwards. I like went old school, but only because it showed these pictures that were like a little blurry
Oh.
and a little
yeah.
artsy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so I was like, oh,
Good for you.
I'm
Love
in.
it.
Yeah, look at me.
That's good for you.
I'm artsy.
Yeah, you are artsy. An artsy runner.
And hipster.
Yeah.
That's me.
And a
they call you.
hipster. Well, thank you so much. And you are going to regret the open door policy because I'm going to come back all the time now.
Anytime.
Anytime. Yes. Friend of the pod.
Oh, I love it.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday. See you next